What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You'll return to subscribe as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, news broke, breaking news at that, about a tragedy in the Ybor City neighborhood out there in Tampa, Florida overnight, where road racers got spotted by a police helicopter, and they split ways, and one of these drivers being pursued by Florida State Patrol wind up crashing into a restaurant storefront in the middle of the night, killing 4 people and injuring several others. I don't understand why people feel as though everybody's a race car driver nowadays and feel as though they're going to exceed the speed limit and do all kind of crazy stuff knowing police are out there. But this is the latest of this tragedy out there. 4 people died, and car crashed going down a busy street, popular place where people party and stuff, and careened off the road and hit pedestrians on the sidewalk, crashing into a storefront, a bar where people were sitting, driving some of the people inside the building itself. Take a look at the latest of what they have so far. May these people rest in peace.
And welcome back in here to Live now from Fox as we continue to follow some breaking news out of Tampa. A devastating scene in that region overnight. In Ybor City, 4 people are dead and 11 others hurt after a speeding driver lost control and plowed into a crowd of pedestrians. Police say it started as a reckless driver being tracked by their air unit and ended when that car crashed right into a popular bar along 7th Avenue. Fox 13's Regina Gonzalez live there at the scene this morning. Good morning to you, Regina. It looks like it is still a very active scene.
It is, Christy. Good morning to you. That's right. It has been hours since this happened in the middle of the night at this point. But as you can see behind me, still a very active, much less heartbreaking scene. If you're familiar with Ybor City here in Tampa, very popular spot to go out, especially on a Friday night. Everyone was just out here walking, having fun, and then tragedy happened. Now, we could tell you that the establishment behind this City of Tampa police car, they've kind of blocked the scene, but the car crashed into a crowd of pedestrians before smashing into the front of a place called Bradley's on 7th, which is kind of a bar nightclub. Again, very popular spot, especially on a Friday. Now, Tampa police in a press conference a few hours ago say this all began just after 12:30 this morning when their air unit spotted 2 cars racing on some local streets a couple of miles away from this area. One of them then merged onto the highway, I-275 southbound, and TPD's air service began tracking it from above. It exited off a downtown interchange exit and then headed this way. That's when Florida Highway Patrol troopers got involved. They were basically the closest units. They tried a pit maneuver, but it was unsuccessful because of the driver's high speed. Troopers say they disengaged for safety reasons. And then moments later, investigators say the vehicle continued east into Ybor City here, speeding down busy 7th Avenue and right near North 15th Street where we're standing, lost control, slammed into a crowd and the front of Bradley's on 7th. And that's when witnesses like Howard Hopkins, who you're about to hear from, say chaos erupted and officers rushed to help.
I was right there about to sit down with the pizza, and it just happened. Tables went everywhere, chairs went everywhere, some bodies went everywhere. It was pretty bad.
Now, police say 4 people who were all over the age of 20 were killed, 3 here at the scene, 1 later at a local hospital. We know 11 others were injured. 1 is in critical condition. Tampa Police Chief Lee Burkaw called this a senseless tragedy and say both TPD and FHP are committed to getting justice for the victims and their families. Now, the driver within the last few hours has been identified as a 22-year-old man from Dade City. His name is Silas Sampson. We can tell you he's in custody this morning and he's facing 4 counts of vehicular homicide with additional felony charges expected as this investigation continues. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Regina Gonzalez, thank you so much for checking in with us here this morning. We appreciate it. And as you heard Regina say, we did hear from officials a bit earlier this morning at a press conference, and we do have that here for you on Live Now from Fox. Let's play it out.
This morning we had a tragic incident where at least 4 victims senselessly lost their lives and 11 others were injured as a result of a careless, reckless driver. As you would imagine, this is a complex investigation involving multiple agencies, and I will provide preliminary information about what we know right now. This morning, just around 12:30, our air service was in the area of Hannah in Nebraska, and they saw 2 vehicles that appeared to be racing going westbound on Hillsborough Avenue towards the interstate. They see one vehicle go on the interstate southbound on 275. The other vehicle breaks off. Our air service goes over the radio and asks if any units are in the area. They're following the vehicle, our air service, going south on 275. This vehicle exits in the downtown area, and at that point, our partners, FHP, and one of our units sees this vehicle in the area of Nebraska and Palm. At that point, 2 FHP units attempt a traffic stop on it, and the vehicle flees, and then they attempt a pit maneuver. After that, unfortunately, this vehicle went at a high rate of speed down 7th Avenue, and tragically, just west of 15th Street, or just east of 15th Street, hit over a dozen people. And at that location, we had 4 that were deceased and 11 others that were injured. And what I can tell you is all the victims were over 20, and they were all adults. And we had 4 that were here that tragically lost their lives. They were out in Ybor having a good time, expecting to go home safely, and a careless, reckless driver takes everybody's lives in his hands and just ended this night in a situation that's never going to be the same for these individuals. You know, at this time, I'd like to have Sergeant Gaskins from Florida Highway Patrol talk a little bit more about what FHP did.
Thank you. Good morning. Again, responding to a request for assistance from our partners with the Tampa Police Department, FHP troopers engaged this driver, a 22-year-old Dade City man. They attempted an unsuccessful pit maneuver. As the vehicle continued into the Ybor City area, my troopers backed off. They disengaged, backed off. And shortly thereafter, we had the crash that you see behind us here. 3 people deceased on the scene, 1 person deceased at the hospital. Florida Highway Patrol is leading with charges of vehicular homicide at this point, with additional felony charges to follow. Our advanced traffic homicide teams, they're doing the investigation. It's going to take a while for them to get all the facts and everything together. But again, the charges, the gentleman that is involved with this is in custody, and we're working with our partners to open up the Ybor City area as soon as possible. Thank you.
And I'd like to thank the Florida Highway Patrol and the State Attorney's Office, and also Tampa Fire Rescue for assisting us in the investigation. And our officers were on the scene immediately and provided first aid. And again, this is very tragic, and I feel for the families and all of those impacted. Any questions?
Was he actively being chased when you were here?
No, as the sergeant said, they had disengaged.
No, I think he answered.
All right. Thank you.